When you go back to that truth, you will realize that this place is created. And just as biblically they referred it into the text, but the suppression of knowledge, the suppression of information is what puts you into the dark. And all they've ever done was rewritten history, suppress the truth, because once you figure out the truth, just you as a soul, it changes you forever. I'm just using this lightly for people, but you walk in the path of God, or you walk in the path of truth. You walk in the path of integrity. You walk in the path of love because you know that is who you are. And you know the things that you do here do matter. A lot of people don't know what they're doing, but you could say there are people here that know exactly that which they're doing. When you understand what the soul is, you understand that the soul is infinite, has the infinite power to create that which it desires and wills. And that's including here. When you get a collective amount of souls putting their energy into a certain belief or a certain thing, that will start to create that event to occur. So when you have a group of souls here that have all forgotten and also being controlled in that aspect, then you are able to create things within this realm due to everybody's soul's will, unaware of that which they're doing. But when a soul is awake, truly awake, and every soul becomes awake in that aspect, there is nothing that could stop you or stop that. The moment people step out of fear and greed and back into love, nothing could stop that. It is impossible to stop that field of energy from rippling through the entirety of this realm. And so even when all this is seen and known, it becomes a biblical event, and not biblical in the way of fear, because this is how they distort and twist information and twist history, is to constantly put you in a state of fear. Fear in and of itself is the number one way to have dominion over your soul and your soul expression. It limits you. So there's nothing to fear in love. There's nothing to fear in freedom. And that's what you are. Your soul, every single soul, has the same capacity and ability to do as every other soul. And this is why every other soul is honored on the other side. You could say the highest form of honor is the soul experience and the wisdom that it holds. But every single soul is honored equally on the other side because they have the same divinity, the same spark within them of creation of all things. And so, yeah, all of these other races, beings within the entirety of this construct, all of the realms, they're totally aware of everything that's going on here. And so can we be as well. And so will this information be remembered again. They cloud the truth of all these things so you can never find the truth, including the dark around the very creation of this place, to keep you in the dark that your soul is eternal. It is infinite. It will never die, and nothing will ever touch your soul. And when every near-death experiencer, every person that has had a controlled out-of-body state, as I've stated in the beginning, when they see it, it changes them because automatically they're in a place of remembering again. There's something that gets sparked within them where they start to remember and walk that path. But I know this is a big one because a lot of people have been lied to so many different things that it's harder to tell somebody that they've been lied to than lying to them in the first place. And that's okay. That's completely fine. I'm not going to tell you that I wasn't angry figuring certain things out. And so the only thing that I wish to do is just wake people up to this. That's it. That's the whole purpose. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Otherwise, a group of people wouldn't be here anymore. This place was not originally supposed to be like this based off what I was showing. This whole universe, this construct, particularly realm one, was to experience that which we are not on the other side. So you have the illusions here of pain, you have the illusions here of death, all through the physical body, because your soul doesn't experience those things. And when I stated unconditional love, yes, that is what we are. But you could say to truly understand and truly step into unconditional love in a way that you've never stepped into it before, you would have had to experience the unlovable things. You would have to have experienced that which it is not to be in unconditional love, to then go back to unconditional love to fully understand it in a way that we have not yet understood it before or fully stepped into it before. Because when you experience the opposite of you, it gives you a certain perceptual wisdom that would have never been birthed unless it was experienced. So you could say, in order to be a true master here, you would have experienced the most harshest environments in order to be birthed into that master. In order to love unconditionally, love everything and everyone unconditionally, you are a soul that has also experienced those unlovable things. So the design of this place, based off what I've seen, was to gradually forget who we are of our true state, to then remember again, remember us, stepping back into our divinity and changing the body to reflect that as well. These bodies are supposed to be living biblically even to 500, 900, 1,000 years old. And it's only because of the suppression of the soul, the connection of the soul, which they do through many things, the suppression of putting you into fear, trying to cut you off from who you are, even though that's impossible. But they can make you step away from those things because people have been so suppressed of the true nature of reality. And they've been cut off by just focusing on the system that we're in, work, survival. And when you're in that state, survival, fear, it cuts you off from remembering your soul purpose, you, where you come from. Because when a soul remembers that, this is where you start getting really incredible changes. This is where you get people that get older, but yet they carry the youthfulness within their vessel because their soul is the one that's generating the physical vessel. No different from when you're inside of a house. If you look at homes, you're going to have a home where someone's living inside of a home. And because that individual is inside that home, that soul is within inside that house, the energy is there and it supports it. Now, if you take that individual away from the house for 3-6 months, this is actually scientifically proven and studied. Rapidly, the house starts to decay when nobody's living within it. And the same thing happens to your physical body. They have tried to disconnect people from their soul essence, stepping outside of their physical form, having no connection to their true state, their true home. And what happens, just as the house to the physical body, the body starts to rapidly decay, starts to die quicker, starts to age quicker. You could sense it and you could see it in the eyes too. An individual that has, in simpler terms, doesn't have a lot of spirit, a lot of soul within them. But this was supposed to be a very gradual thing, stepping back into your true state and stepping back into heaven here. And this is what's going to happen here anyways. There's such a mass shift that's happening at this moment that everything will change, man. I mean, and you have to, all of the old systems have to fall in order for that change to be presented. This is why I say, when you're trying to search for the light or the truth, the closer you get to the source of light, the bigger the shadow becomes. The closer you get to the truth of things, the bigger the shadow is going to become. And therefore you are going to see all of the distortions and the things that you are not.